Good day, everyone, and welcome back to the gaming tier on Patreon, where we discuss all things news. And weirdly enough, I found myself struggling this week trying to find different topics to discuss, but I did manage to put together a couple, so this might be actually a bit of a shorter video. And I say that every time, and it never actually happens. So, first, we're going to cover a game that is in development that I just happened to stumble across. Stargate Timekeepers video game now in development. It is going to be a real-time strategy game from Slytherin and Creative Forge Games. And I gotta say, I'm actually excited. I really enjoy real-time strategy games. I do play a decent amount of StarCraft 2 with my brother. It is going to be a new video game. So, UK-based publisher Slytherin has announced that Stargate Timekeepers, a real-time strategy game, is currently in development. The game is officially licensed by MGM. Set between Seasons 7 and 8 of Stargate SG-1, the game will release on PC distribution platforms such as Steam. Working on an IP like Stargate is an honor and a testament to our continued effort to reach a wider audience, Slytherin marketing director Marco Minoli said. We strive to capture players' imaginations by creating our own worlds or by forging experiences based on existing influential franchises. We look forward to bringing Stargate Timekeepers to life and creating a long-lasting legacy of Stargate strategy games. It is the first licensed PC game for the franchise since the online third-person shooter Stargate Resistance went offline at the beginning of 2011. Since then, Stargate has had two games come and go in the mobile space, with Arcalis Interactive publishing Stargate Command in 2012 and Stargate SG-1 Unleashed in 2013. The announcement today comes with a 1-minute teaser trailer featuring CG dialing Stargate and the game's official logo. And I gotta say, I'm really excited about this. I didn't even know there were previous Stargate video games from 2011 and 2013. Like, this was... Obviously, I was still playing video games and whatnot, but I was not writing for video games. I was not that big into the news. I'm really looking forward to another, RTS and see how they do, and what characters we follow. There's more information on this website. They've got lots of screenshots here, and of course the trailer or the teaser trailer. So I'm really excited to see where this goes. So I'm gonna keep an eye on that, and I will link it in the description below so that you can go take a look at the full article about Stargate Timekeepers being in development. I can't wait to see what they come up with and how this works. Next up, we're going to talk about Tony Hawk. And this came across my feed recently, which is Tony Hawk joins GameSquare Esports as a special advisor. International esports company GameSquare Esports announced that famed skateboarder Tony Hawk has partnered with the organization as a special advisor. Hawk will act as a special advisor to CEO Justin Kina and GameSquare's group of companies to help them bridge the gap between global brands and the large gaming and esports communities. In addition to being the face of numerous Tony Hawk Pro Skater video games, the famous athlete is also an entrepreneur and philanthropist. His foundation, the Skateboard Project, has provided millions of dollars to construct public skate parks across the U.S. Justin Kina, CEO of GameSquare, commented in a release, "Tony is an amazing person that is an iconic brand in his own right. We are humbled that Tony is willing to share his experiences in business, entertainment, sports, video games, and digital media with our leadership team as we grow GameSquare into an iconic esports company. We have incredible people with amazing professional experience, and I look forward to working with Tony to accelerate our growth and our progress," Kina added. In many ways, Tony represents the best of what we do at Game Square. He is highly sought after by global brands and resonates with an influential group of fans, enthusiasts, and professionals. Tony bridges the gap between brands and fans in an authentic way and has been doing it successfully and with integrity for decades. There is obviously more to this article. Tony Hawk is legendary, and I used to play the video games all the time given the chance. So I'm excited to see where this esports company goes with, the direction of Tony Hawk and all of his years of experience, and I think it will be awesome. And also, I didn't know about the skateboard project, so I'm really glad that he's got something set up to construct other skate parks across the United States, because I know a lot of people that I follow are in the US, and for them to have proper places to go just to practice, is great. Like, meet people, hang out, as much as you can in lockdown anyways. But this is fantastic. So I can't wait to see where this goes. But that's just my personal opinion on it. Maybe you guys are skateboarding fans as well, or Tony Hawk fans. You might find this interesting, so I'll also leave that link below. Next up, we have an article I stumbled across yesterday, which was SEGA considering Crazy Taxi, Jet Set Radio reboots, and working on a super game. And I gotta tell you, I'm kind of curious about this because fucking Crazy Taxi, man. I remember that game. The flack that it got, the weird shit you could do, the speeds you had to go to take people to their destination. Like, that game at the time was wild. And I know that so many people play Jet Set Radio, and that there are certain video games today that are inspired very much by Jet Set Radio. And I'm just kind of curious to see where this go. So, a results presentation to mark the end of the fiscal year was published to the Sega Sammy Investor Relations website today. The slideshow includes a number of interesting details about the company's future plans. One slide concerning the utilization of IP assets, noting that IPs are active and dormant, and how Sega plans to remaster, remake, or reboot its older series to capitalize on the globally recognized IPs it has in its vault. A number of old fan-favorite franchises are mentioned in the past IP groups section, including Crazy Taxi, Jet Set Radio, Knights, Space Channel 5, Panzer Dragoon, and Rez. At the very least, this suggests that the company is interested in bringing some of these games back to the market while strengthening its active IPs such as Yakuza, Persona, and Sonic. And I gotta say, this will be interesting. We very much live in an age where reboots, remakes, and remasters are just dominating the market. With the remake of Final Fantasy VII, which I still need to get and play, so if any of you love me very much, please, I want that game. Anyways, no, I'm joking. But I really... there are certain games that if they bring them back, I am all over it. I've already done a preview of the latest sort of updated version of Boulder Dash that you can get on Steam, and I absolutely love it. I'll leave a link in the description to that as well. If you're a huge Boulder Dash fan, go check that out because it's good, and I can't see this necessarily being bad as long as they do it properly. I'm never against bringing back, old classics and remastering them or remaking them or doing something different. I just want to make sure that if you're going to do that as a game company, that you give enough to the fans of the original, as well as give something interesting and exciting for the new fans, the people who have never experienced some of these old games. As long as you do well by the original IP, then I am all for, doing something like this. So we'll see what happens. if they come out with something wild and ridiculous, and given the graphics today and the technology and the types of cars and stuff that we have today, I'm very curious to see what they do with Crazy Taxi. I'm just gonna put that out there. Next up, we talk about Blizzard. Good old Blizzard, eh? But don't worry, it's not necessarily a bad thing. Blizzard Epic veterans announce new RPG studio Lightforge Games. So we know from previous videos and articles that many of the veterans of Blizzard have left, and a lot of them have either gone to other studios or they've created their own. In the last year or two, we've seen a surge of new studios founded by longtime Blizzard veterans. Though their teams and projects are different, companies like Dreamhaven, Frost Giant, and Warchief Gaming have plenty in common beyond their Blizzard connections: a love of fantasy worlds, interest in games that bring players together, and a desire to work in a small team. Now, former Blizzard and Epic engineer Matt Shimbari is joining that collective with a new endeavor, Lightforge Games. Shimbari spent over 8 years at Blizzard, followed by another 5 at Epic Games, and his 4 Lightforge co-founders also represent a blend of these two company cultures. Opened alongside former Epic programmer Dan Hertzka, former Epic producer Nathan Fairbanks, which should be a very familiar name, former Blizzard artist Glenn Rain, and former Blizzard and Epic marketing director Mark Hutchinson. The studio opened about a year ago, but has been working quietly since. It now has 11 employees, many of whom come from the same or similar industry backgrounds. What is Lightforge working on? Shimbari isn't saying just yet, apart from that it sounds something in the RPG genre. What he will say is that the team's collective experience with making social, creative games at their past companies is being put to good use. When you look at anything from Minecraft to Dungeons and Dragons, these are games where people come together, they have shared connectedness, they're creating a world together, they're creating a story together in a very emergent together kind of way. These are the kinds of games that we love, and we've got experience and expertise working on games like this. We all came together with a shared vision that we can rethink RPGs through the lens of social and creation. Now, I gotta say that RPGs, can be very hit or miss. Many RPGs, some of them just did not resonate with me very well, and some of them, are up on pedestals and have done amazing things for the space. And some of that sort of carries over into MMORPGs, which is not the same thing as RPGs specific, because many RPGs are very single player focused. But I'm interested to see what they decide to do and where they decide to take the genre, because it is kind of an evolving industry where players want a lot more choice and a lot more option, and they don't want to be bullied into only having one or two sort of end choices, that everything that they did leading up to that point may just be thrown by the wayside. What's more interesting is the journey, the story, the characters that you interact with. That whole experience is, to me, more rewarding and more important than the final decision of that game. But I mean, it really is up to the gamer. That's sort of my perspective on that sort of game. But I do really appreciate games that will take into account all of your decisions and will change the story based on how you answer people, how you respond to people. And because of this evolution, I'm curious to see what happens with Lightforge Games and how they decide to change things. So, I don't know. It should be interesting nonetheless, but it also shows that Blizzard may be in some very big trouble just because they're not able to hold on to their staff, and weirdly, I'm not surprised about it. So That's a thing. Next up, we're going to talk about Discord. Discord has already been purchased or in talks or in partnership with Sony, and a lot of people were confused or curious to see what would come out of that. And many of us are rejoicing that Microsoft did not get the deal. But I did also talk about how I'm not sure if that was the right decision. But I also knew that with something like this, that things were going to start changing. And this is what we came across. Discord's new features make for better online conventions. So, not only do we have a new font and a new or slightly updated logo, at least a bit of a cleaner logo, I would say. We've got this article. Discord, the popular chat client, is making some changes in 2021, which we knew. Among these changes are threaded conversations, better ways to discover new communities, and paid tickets to allow creators a new source of income. Stage channels are a less chaotic version of a Discord group chat. Only a few select people have the ability to talk freely, and everyone else in the channel is the audience. Audience members can queue up to take part in an organized Q&A or just enjoy the show. It's a feature similar to the Clubhouse app, which has lately been imitated across other social media platforms. Discord's next new feature is Stage Discovery, a tab in the Discord client. Users can click it to see active stages and join the host community from there. A feature that allows hosts to sell tickets to their stages is currently in private beta with no confirmed release date. Threads, the ability to create a nested conversation under one specific message, will also arrive to Discord this summer. Threads are great to explore random tangents without derailing the main conversation or to host a spoiler-filled conversation. Discord announced these changes during a press conference held in Discord itself that previewed a couple of cool features. There was a music bot to play some tunes, as well as a smooth and polished in-client poker game. It's been a big year of growth for Discord due to the pandemic, and the application has expanded beyond being just for gamers. With stages, threads, and poker being in Discord almost feels like attending a physical convention, which makes sense as Discord has hosted over 30 conventions in 2020, including working with DEF CON, VidCon, PAX Gamescom, and DevCon. Sony recently invested in Discord with plans to integrate the service into the PlayStation Network in early 2022. Discord representatives said that they were not ready to share details on their partnership at this point in time. Anyways, there is a full blog post, a Discord blog post, where it goes into more detail, and it is written by Justin Citrin, the founder of Discord. And they talk about the changes of the logo and the font change. They do go a bit more into detail about like the coloring and, you know, little nitty-gritty things about Clyde. And then they go into a bit more description about staging and bonus packs and like what they're trying to do with it. So I'll be sure to link that below as well. So I'm curious to see what this does. I know that a lot of concerts, you know, have been on hold because of the pandemic. I know that a lot of people are working on different things like, you know, your tipping system through Twitter now and finding other ways to monetize. I know that a lot of concerts have sort of either hosted sort of free shows like through YouTube, and then some, like I know that Korn is doing an online concert as well, where a lot of these different big name bands are doing concerts for a mere cost of like 20 to 30 bucks to buy an online ticket, and you're able to still experience a concert from the safety of your own home, especially if you're not vaccinated and can't physically go to locations like most of us are in right now. So the fact that Discord is finding a way to make that easier and make it the go-to spot is fantastic in my opinion, and I think that that will help a lot more for many creatives, but it will also help Discord gain some more traction and make sure that they can still pay for their servers and different things like that. So I'm kind of excited for this change. I'm curious to see how this is implemented. But what I do know is that if you're going to do something like this, and if you are going to charge some kind of ticket price for what you're doing, make sure that you have your two-factor authentication set up. Make sure that you have some kind of gatekeeping to your Discord servers, or for the server itself for the concert if you make up another server that you invite people to. It will be easier in the long run if you do the work at the front end. Make sure you set all of that up ahead of time just to make sure that you're safe and that your community is safe. You don't want any weird ragtag people coming in ruining it for everybody else. So I'm interested to see what they do, how they implement this, how the payment is going to work, etc. And I'm also curious to see if they have like PayPal and Venmo integration as well, because not everybody has like credit cards, nor would they be very interested in putting their credit card information in something like Discord. So there is that. That's what I've got for you today. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I'm curious to see what you guys think about any of the topics that we've discussed today. And as always, you have a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next video.